Airbnb offers insurance now? But wait, they always said their host guarantee and liability protections aren't insurance. What's going on? And more importantly, can you ditch your homeowner's insurance policy and just use Airbnb's? Welcome to another episode of Airbnb Uncovered. I'm Matt, the creator of Airbnbuncovered.com and Airbnb Superhost. On this channel, I uncover some of the best kept hosting secrets, as well as share with you everything that I've learned after hosting over 3,000 guests. My tips, tricks, and best practices are focused on helping new hosts earn more revenue, attract the best guests, and achieve Superhost status faster. So if you're a host on Airbnb, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell too. Wait, is it really me? The guy who hasn't been posting many videos lately? Yes, I'm finally back. And it's been a crazy past few months over here at Airbnb Uncovered. I was so busy with some new co-hosts, and I recently hosted a 5-day pricing bootcamp for Airbnb hosts. In case you missed it, a bunch of hosts and I jumped onto Zoom for an hour a day for 5 days, and we dove deep into pricing on Airbnb. I shared how I set my rates for my Airbnbs, and every host left with a powerful and repeatable pricing strategy to earn more from their Airbnbs by increasing both their occupancy and their nightly rates. The hosts loved it, and they said they got so much out of our time together over the last 5 days. I'll be offering another pricing workshop in early 2022. And if you want to get in early at a discounted rate, join the wait list on my website, and the link is below in the description. Now, I'm pretty sure we were supposed to be talking about Airbnb insurance in this video, so let me get on to that. Earlier this week, Airbnb announced that it's expanding its host protections. So let me give you the lowdown of what changed, and there are 6 main areas that I want to go through with you. So let's get into it. The first is that you'll now get 14 days to submit a damage claim, even if the next guest has already checked in, which is a huge change from before when you had to submit the claim within 48 hours or before the next guest checked in, whichever occurred first. And trust me, that could be a struggle sometimes for same-day turnovers because you needed to collect all the evidence, receipts, photos, etc., and get it all in before 3 p.m. Airbnb is now specifically calling out that they will cover the costs for extra cleaning. But after a bit of digging through the terms and conditions, they will only compensate you for cleaning costs that exceed your cleaning fee that you already charged your guests, if you have one. So be careful here. I'm not exactly sure how this differed from how things worked before because I've gotten extra cleaning paid quite a few times in the past. And I guess now there will be fewer questions about whether or not this is covered. And one thing that was very annoying before was that extra cleaning was often covered by a different department than the department that would cover damages. So you had to essentially submit 2 different claims and talk to 2 different people. And Airbnb would only work on 1 claim at a time. Income loss protection. Now, income loss protection seems like it's something new because I've never heard about it. And to be completely honest, I'm not really 100% sure on how this one's going to work. The promotional wording makes it sound like you'd be covered for any business income loss due to a claim that rendered your home unusable. But in the fine print, it mentions protections against lost Airbnb revenue and any other contracts or obligations. So this is good, but it leaves one burning question, and that is, what happens if your calendar is vacant, but you could have gotten last-minute reservations, and now you can't because your home is under repairs? How are they going to cover that potential income loss? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how that one plays out. Pet damages. Damages caused by pets will now be included, and this is also huge. And this is one that I didn't even realize wasn't included until recently. A couple months ago, I hosted a small dog who scratched up the hardwood floors in one of my listings. I tried to claim for the damage and was immediately denied because previously they didn't cover pet damages. So this was definitely a welcome change, and especially since so many more guests nowadays are traveling with their pets. And if you're not welcoming pets to your listing, I strongly recommend you give it some serious consideration because you could be missing out on some really great guests. In an upcoming video, I will be talking all about how to minimize your risk and increase your revenues with pets, so stay tuned for that. Timing. Now, if you search around the Facebook groups online, you will guaranteed see one common complaint when it comes to damage claims with Airbnb, and that is that Airbnb is so slow to resolve claims. And you'd also see the number one complaint about Airbnb claims is that they don't cover every little thing. But if you want help on how to get Airbnb to cover more of your damage claims, check out the video I did on that, and you can watch it by clicking on the little I in the upper right-hand corner right now. So this is also some welcome news. And they're going to review claims within 14 days. And you know what? Us superhosts are going to get priority attention for even faster service. Priority attention for superhosts seems to be something that Airbnb has brought back from pre-pandemic times. And thank God. I'm just so glad to see that I don't have to wait forever to talk to someone, and that whoever I do finally get to talk to, they seem to have a decent command of Airbnb's policies. So life really is getting better as an Airbnb host and as the return to travel continues. Question: have you ever had to submit a claim to the Resolution Center? If you did, how did it go? Tell us in the comments below. At the top of the video, I asked the rhetorical question: with these new host protections, can you safely cancel your homeowner's insurance policy? And the answer is a resounding no. Under the terms and conditions for the host protection plan, they specifically say that it is not an insurance and that hosts are strongly advised to have an actual insurance policy in place. And this makes sense. Airbnb is only covering you when your place is rented on Airbnb. And they've carved out a ton of exclusions that are related to items typically covered by your homeowner's insurance policy. Things like acts of God, vandalism, and others. If you think about it, your place isn't always occupied by Airbnb guests anyway. And when it's not, you need to have your place insured. Plus, you have to think about when you have direct bookings. Airbnb is certainly not going to cover you when you're hosting guests who didn't even book through their platform. Now, Airbnb does use the term insurance when describing the liability part of the coverage. And that makes sense too, because it's hard to cover off the risks related to personal injury or damage to a guest property without calling it insurance. And the easiest way to think about the liability coverage is to think about it like this. Airbnb is basically covering the guests when they're in your house. If they hurt themselves or somehow their personal property is damaged as a result of something that happens in your house, then they're covered. But once they check out, the liability insurance checks out with them. I hope all of this makes sense to you and that you now have a better understanding of how Airbnb's host protections work so that you can make more informed decisions about how you run your Airbnb. And I want to encourage all of you to submit claims to the Resolution Center when merited and as often as necessary. Hosts should not be losing out on profit because they're needlessly paying for replacement of damaged items or extra cleaning when the guests are clearly at fault. And Airbnb has a budget to pay for these things. So when it made sense over the years, I have submitted claims and I've gotten them paid out. And as a result, I've enjoyed more money in my pocket and the early replacement of some items that I would have had to eventually replace anyway. But just remember that the first step of the Resolution Center claim process is for your guests to voluntarily cover these costs. So they are going to see what you submit. So you want to make sure that you're only submitting a claim when there's actually a valid reason to do so. And I don't know this for sure, but I am guessing that if you overuse the Resolution Center, Airbnb is probably going to cut you off for abuse and then constantly side with guests, thus denying your claim. If you learned something new in this video, and I really hope you did because they're a lot of work, but I like doing them, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please don't forget to click on that notification bell so that you get an alert when I post a new video. which is going to be more often. I'm back. If you can't wait for my next video, then check out some of my other videos on my channel. I've covered a ton of topics for Airbnb hosts. So until my next video, bye for now.